Hi Scorpio, welcome to a love reading for September 2020. It's Raina here, and this reading is for anybody who is single and looking, or I was going to say coupled and looking, or coupled and not too happy with what you're dealing with. And maybe a message can come through that is, well, the first one was like 8 of Cups. I mean, that's pretty interesting. Oh, jeez. I got the Tower card. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness gracious. I'm getting all these, like, major cards. What is going on with this? Okay. So the heart of the matter is the 8 of Cups. Somebody, I think, told me, because I said, I really associate this with Scorpio, because you rule the 8th house, but whatever. And leaving behind what no longer serves you. Looking for greater meaning in your life. So if you're in a relationship, you may have outgrown this person. And that's, that's a very important thing to really admit to yourself. Because you don't have to make another person bad for you to realize that you need to leave that relationship. You may realize that you never really loved that person, that you married them or got with them for other reasons that may have been relevant in that moment, and yet now are no longer relevant. This is coming from the Judgment card. So perhaps for some of you, there has been a recent divorce and you're single, but you're coming from a divorced situation. The Judgment card actually does connect to Pluto, which is one of the rulers of your sign, and is about transformation. And Pluto can be associated with death too, so the death of a relationship, or the death of the self, the old self that you no longer are. And when you have changed yourself, and you're with somebody who you perceive is pretty similar to how they were when you met them, there may be like a big gap there where you feel like I don't have the same things in common with this person, and I don't know what to do. And I mean, you have, I only picked 6 cards, and you actually have 4 major arcana cards. So I know this is a general reading, but it might indicate that you're going through a lot in your love life, and a lot of changes. If you're single, you might be single coming from divorce, and the Judgment card could be that, or that you are realizing maybe in the past that you had to hone your ability to judge situations better, that you didn't have good judgment, and that created a situation that was not very good for relationships, where you were attracted to the wrong person, or maybe a series of wrong people. And whether they were, not in a good place in general is a different story. They might not have been right for you, but are in general, nothing is wrong with those people. They're just incompatible with you for whatever reason. But in some cases, you might have gotten involved with somebody who was trouble, and that led to other things happening, that it was kind of a domino effect, and you've had to kind of come to terms with the choice that you made, and why did you make such a bad choice. So it's really about changing attitudes regarding relationships, and for some of you, you may be on a spiritual journey, which may be connected to all of that. The Judgment card is a card of rebirth. So if you've been through the fire, which the Judgment card can suggest, and you're having this rebirth, then it means that you no longer resonate with certain traits in another person. So you might be like, I'm not attracted to that type of individual anymore. The higher message is the Tower card, which is a card of something has to give. And if you experienced a Tower moment recently, maybe that led to the Judgment card. Like, let's say you found out that your partner was having an affair, and maybe it was like a really long, serious thing. It wasn't just like some fling, but something very serious. And you were like, how could I not see this? What is wrong with me? Why didn't I know this? And it felt like a real shock to the system. You may have had to really take yourself into hand and to say, okay, let's get real here. Let's be honest. I dropped the ball with myself. I didn't want to see certain things. Scorpios can be very suspicious and definitely accusing people of something maybe that they didn't do, but I'm sure that there are plenty of Scorpios who can be very much in denial. And this is something that you will see with an afflicted Mercury. That is a person's perception. Maybe a square with Neptune, or even a Venus square Neptune, where the person in their love life tends to fall in love with the wrong people, but also to be deluded or even in opposition to Neptune from Venus, to project these stellar qualities onto somebody who isn't embodying them. And the Tower card, this is the spiritual position, so it can be saying, you say that you are floored by this and that you're so shocked, but are you really? Are you really shocked, or are you kind of acting like this is a surprise to you when really deep down inside you knew that something wasn't quite right? Scorpio is a very naturally intuitive sign, so it can work either way. Sometimes it can either be that the Scorpio is overly suspicious, or that if they have other factors to support it, like a moon in Pisces, for instance, that they are in denial and that they create a false narrative because to protect themselves, but also so that they can continue justify being in that relationship. What crosses you is the Star card. So the Star card is connected to Aquarius, if this is the person in question, but that isn't necessarily good for you. But the Star card is a belief in unseen forces. So the Star card is really associated with faith. It's a card of healing, of hope renewed. If you're pursuing something, but you're not really convinced that it's out there, there may be cynicism that has crept into your life. I'm assuming because of something or things that have happened that may have been quite disillusioning, when they happen, because you're like hoping that something wasn't going to be the case, and it was. But you have to be willing to accept the fact that once you get your own head screwed on correctly, you will have the ability to discern things in a very easy way, and you won't be delusional, but you also won't be overly suspicious, because that's no way to live life either. If a person is with a trustworthy person, they have no reason to be suspicious. And so, but ultimately, the person you need to trust the most is yourself. And you may have stopped doing that. The Star card is about believing that Maybe loved ones are helping you and being connected to loved ones who've crossed over. And that may be something that you have doubts about, and therefore you can't truly envision what it is that you're looking for because you're so dismissive of anything that is not of this world, that is kind of like not tangible. What's coming in is the Wheel of Fortune. This is a card of, I think aligning yourself to good things happening. So that can mean that you are much more aware of the twists and turns of fate. But also, I think this is a card of making your own luck, where you are aligning yourself to what it is that you feel where destiny is calling you currently. But at the same time, by anticipating it, you actually achieve it, versus just being, very cynical and thinking, oh, it can't happen. Because with the Star card in the challenge position, you may have had your wishes, your hopes and wishes dashed more than once, and now you're just kind of like not believing that's possible. But you are seeking. With the Eight of Cups, you are seeking. So you're definitely looking for something. But perhaps you have to control yourself and keep yourself from needing guarantees. Like, let's say that you're interested in getting back into a relationship, but you're single right now. And whether you are 20 and you haven't had a serious relationship yet, or you're 50 and you've had several, believing that it is possible, even if you have evidence of having a bunch of failed relationships, it takes a lot of willingness to transcend the material side of life. And it's really about the spiritual consciousness more than anything else. And so with law of attraction, working with law of attraction to make things happen. And then we have the outcome, the Nine of Swords. I'm going to pick an additional card because I don't like to end with this. This is a card of anxiety and feeling, that there's something that may be bothering you that you're not dealing with, and that may be preventing you from aligning with your success. So let's see an additional card for information. I just cut part of the deck. Ace of Wands. So this is a fresh new beginning. Wands relate to fire energy, so it's very individualistic and freedom loving. So it may be breaking free from what other people believe in, what other people want for themselves, going your own way, doing things your own way, having autonomy. Maybe even, who knows, maybe it's even traveling, but traveling the path that you haven't traveled before, that you're kind of like a pioneer of sorts among friends and family. I do think with the Eight of Cups, that could even indicate travel, but especially for a spiritual nature, situation, where you're kind of looking for meaning in life. And with the Ace of Wands, maybe there's this new enthusiastic self. So we have the Judgment card of rebirth, and you're coming into your own and feeling like you're just raring to go. You want something to happen, some new things. Does it speak of relationship with this card? I think so, but I would say with a fire sign in particular, The fire sign that you are most connected to is Leo. The other fire signs are Aries and Sagittarius, but definitely maybe this is a fling where it has a lot of passion attached to it, but maybe it's not necessarily long-lasting. But one thing it does is it creates this bridge for you to cross over, symbolically and maybe literally. I mean, obviously it's not a literal bridge, but I mean, symbolically creates this bridge so that you can kind of break free from the past and declare your sovereignty by having this relationship and just having fun, you know, with the Ace of Wands. There's a sense of liveliness, feeling alive, feeling like you've come alive again. And whether a fire sign person is doing it for you or you're just having a fling and you're just enjoying it for what it is, Scorpio. And I think a lot of Scorpios can't have flings. They're like, what is a fling? You know, I want a full-blown relationship, but especially if you've come out of something that was very wrenching, that might not be what you truly want in this moment. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this. If you'd like a personal reading, the link is below. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.